Hello everybody, this is Iconic Repaints. Today's going to be my video on the Kaiyodo 20 centimeters Godzilla 1991 that I built and painted. But before I get too much into that, I just want to take a moment to remind everybody to like and subscribe if they want to see more videos like this. Comments as well. I love hearing the conversations about a lot of these things, reading up and responding to you all. But thank you everybody, because I hit 100 subscribers this week, which is not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but considering I just started this all for fun, and at least 100 of you have kind of stuck around and wanted to hear what I had to say, more times than not. I do really appreciate it. It's a little surprising, but I'll take it. Now, like I said, this is Kaiyodo's Godzilla 91, sculpted by Yuji Sakai. This is the 20 centimeter scale. He's still a solid 6, or he's about 7 inches tall, but he's smaller than the other Yuji Sakai pieces I've had. But the Godzilla 91 is probably one of the most popular designs that's ever come out. By Godzilla's standards, he's always been really mean looking, really muscular looking, not like flabby and overly chunky. He's kind of look like he's got that small waist, but a big strong chest and everything like that, muscular looking legs, and he's just got that face that he's just welcoming any fight that he could get into. But again, this is rather aged. I mean, the sculpts in the 90s aren't really going to hold up all that well to a lot of things coming out these days, and this is definitely an example of that. Not only is it smaller, like I said, 20 centimeters tall, it's vinyl compared to like the resin kit, so you're going to have some softness there. But even comparing it to the X Plus vinyls of Godzilla 91, it is plenty of them because it's such a popular design. But I did a video on the Yuji Sakai 91 I had, where I turned it into like a stylized 90s VHS cover inspiration. This doesn't even touch the sculpt and crispness. Never mind. It doesn't even touch really just the level of detail to that figure, which of course is a lot bigger. So it's not really apples to apples, but overall, it's more fun to build these things, obviously, and paint them however it is that you want to build them. But this particular guy, actually, there's a little bit of drama with this guy. I mean, I had to put a little more work and skill into this guy than I normally would have to. I like to just paint if I could help it. This guy required a little more TLC. I'll get into that in a moment. So Godzilla 1991, it's from the movie Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, which is a 90s rebooted film. The Toho wanted to bring back their classic Godzilla villains for their movies instead of making brand new monsters, because they were trying to save the box office. Godzilla films weren't racking in the dough like they used to early on in the first series, and that's at least this point early on, because the movie before this was Godzilla vs. Biollante, which is, although a popular movie, it didn't really do well at the box office. So bring back King Ghidorah, who's Godzilla's arch enemy basically, and I think they definitely had more success with this movie. It was a rebirth of Godzilla. They kind of messed with time travel a little bit, and Godzilla in this movie comes back even bigger and more powerful than he's ever been before to that time. They kind of went into a whole backstory with Godzilla as a dinosaur before he got nuked by radiation. They also did a little brand new backstory for King Ghidorah, which I don't like one bit at all. So compared to the 60s, when King Ghidorah first showed up, he was this unstoppable monster that was just cruising through space and just destroying planets of all civilized life, basically one stop at a time, before he came to Earth and got repelled by the combined forces of Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan. Now this time they kind of just made King Ghidorah into a fusion of from these three little fur furbot gremlin looking things that they, I guess, got nuked in Godzilla's place, and they became King Ghidorah. So he's like a man-made monster. Whack. Definitely give me the classic OG monster that destroyed Venus and Mars or whatever the case may be, and just, lived for eons. Way more interesting, but I digress. So this kit is a representative of the Godzilla from that movie. And like I said, you're not going to compare it to things that have come out in recent years and that are also bigger in scale and more expensive, but it is a really cool piece. I do like, if you have like a little lineup of the Kaiyodo statues, especially like the vinyl ones, it's a neat little compromise because you get to build them, but they're still vinyl, they're smaller, so you could build like a little army of them, a collection of them, or a decent representation of Godzilla through the years. And some of them are a lot cooler than others. Like, I love their 64, which is a little bigger than this. It's one of my favorite sculpts that I've ever seen. Also, I got this guy, the 91, and 55 together. I prefer the 55. That's why I wanted the set, even though the price was great. I got a great deal on them, but I really did it because I wanted the 1955, who's very much an underrepresented, I can't speak today, version of Godzilla. This guy, 91, is everywhere. This is not my favorite sculpt of him, but he came as a package deal, and at the end of the day, I did enjoy painting him, even though I did have some challenges. I alluded to those challenges before, and what I meant by that was, so when it got shipped to me, of course, the biggest spine on Godzilla's back was missing, and the seller couldn't find it. I checked everywhere. I also couldn't find it. So I knew I had to find a way to get around that, and I ended up having to sculpt it, which sucked. I hate sculpting. Not fun. And I had to redo it like 2 or 3 times because it just wasn't looking right. I couldn't get the sizing right. And then I made it too thick and too fat. It looked too out of place and too fake. So I kept having to go back to the drawing board. That took me the longest time. I've been working on this guy kind of in between other projects for probably since the summer of 2021. And yeah, so it's nice to finally have this guy together and kind of just put him to the side. I also didn't know if he was missing teeth when he got shipped to me, or if that's just how the sculpt was, but I added some teeth with the epoxy clay, which was also a pain in the ass. Not easy, especially being so tiny, because it's just very fragile, and every little pressure, you kind of misshapen the tooth, or it's too fragile, and the slightest little breeze knocks it out. But I kept my head down. I kept trying to go forward, and when I did have time in between all these other commissions that I've been doing, I went back to work on this guy. Eventually got him all painted up, and I really do dig how the claws came out, both on his fingers and his toes. I do like how the teeth look. And after, the spines, I think, have a really cool, I was able to get like a really cool effect on them. I did besides like the normal black and grays and whites that are in there, I added some dirt in there, some browns, to kind of break it up a little bit. I think it helps for sure. And otherwise, the sculpt really didn't pop out to me because the sculpt is softer. It's a little flatter, like I said. But after I did the base paint and then I started playing with the dry brushes, the dry brush really did a lot as far as kind of making the texture really pop a little bit and just giving some variation, some much needed variation to the skin tone. But ultimately, I'm pretty much going to stop myself right here because there really isn't much else to say about this guy. And I don't even think I'm going to really be taking enough pictures of him to really have to really show it in this video like that, because I've been having like a hard time kind of like photograph this guy, like just because the details are hard to get on camera. And a lot of it's just kind of hard to see. So like even the eyes, like I painted the eyes. I know Godzilla 91 has really dark like irises and everything like that. So there's so many scenes that looks like he's just got pure black eyes, but it is really like kind of a really dark red brown kind of, pupil there and everything like that. So I did get that into this figure, but it doesn't really show up much in the pictures, just like it really didn't show up in the movies until you got like the right close-up. But anyway, yeah, so this guy is finally done. I'm going to be selling him for sure, because like I said, I really just wanted the 1955, which I am keeping. This guy I'm going to have to find a home for. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the support, and until next time, peace.